Welcome back. Second map rather, of this game. About to get going, and we are going to be heading straight into the pistol round. It is Fate versus Team Singularity once again. And with Team Singularity holding a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 now after taking away the pit map pick of Fate. The Bulgarians have a lot to do. That is for sure. See if they can pick up a pistol round here, though. But with Larson finding an opening, make it 2. That starts to fade away for them. Larson just going to be holding towards the back lines. Caliber towards the site has been able to find one, but with lots of players approaching him, the best he can manage is 2. And it's now going to be left in a 2-on-2 as the bomb gets planted. Iceberg's going to try and dart to cover, but he's got players chasing him down. He's just about managed to get behind Nubox. 25 HP to spare. And they're looking to try and finish him off. He's trying to draw attention away from his teammate. As SMF, who swings out with the P250, gets himself a second kill in the round. Nicky's going to try and hold the bomb, but SMF, he's too smart for that. And Singularity, they do find another pistol round in this best of 3. That is the second one out of 3 that picked up. And they're hoping they can follow up on that as well and secure themselves a couple follow-up rounds on that, get themselves up to a 3-0 lead. But Fate, they're going to make it hard for them. A couple of FAMASes, a Scout, a couple of Deagles. There's potential here for Fate to make it a scary round. I mean, not if SMF is going to do that, though, with his Galil. 2 quick kills come through. Caliber has to back away as the only defender towards his A site. He's going to use a smoke to try and conceal him a little bit as he waits for rotations to come through. Patrick, a quick shot on the Deagle. That's a Mac 10 picked up for him. As now, Team Singularity, they're actually going to barrel away from A. They're going to rotate over towards B before Fate they even realize. Remoy's going to hold towards mid, making sure he catches any rotations from A that don't go through CT. Is now Fate, I think they start to realize that it is that B site, and when the plank goes down, they will for sure be making that realization. See what they can do here, whether they do decide to do anything. Remoy's looking to try and catch out a player or two who might be saving. There's Nicky towards the pit, Patrick on site, and Caliber's going to be rotating in through library. Not spotted anyone yet, but he's hearing a lot of steps, and he catches them trying to chuck guns around. He's actually going to pick up 2 of those saving players. It's only Caliber left, who does pick up 1, the trade. But now he's left alone, trying to save this FAMAS, worried about where these remaining Singularity players might be chasing him. They're not going to push too hard. They're happy to keep 3 players alive. Allow Caliber to save the FAMAS. Remoy's done so much damage there that it's going to stop them from getting a rebuy in this next round. If they catch all 3 players alive, they could have perhaps gone for something that would constitute a buy. But for now, Singularity should be able to rocket themselves to a 3rd on the board, as it is just that FAMAS saved for Caliber, who had a very, very strong showing in the first map on Train. He ended with something like, ooh, what was it? About 30 kills, I think, for him. 25. I think he slowed down towards the end. But certainly he was the highest performer in the server. Not able to push his team to the window on Train as they dropped it 16 to 10 as now. Fate, they actually have a pretty decent chance. 3 players for them stacked over towards the ruins and a flashbang to try and push through, but the Mac 10's close range are pretty good to deal with that aggression. Caliber caught out in mid. That's the rifle gone. Patrick, he does have one of his own, in fact. But, caught out in the open. He doesn't quite see where he's being shot from, and Remoy finishes the job. So 3 on the board. A single kill found in that round for the Fate side. But they do get themselves what should be the full buy here. 4 M4s. It's just an MP9 for Nicky, who makes a bit of concession for himself. That nade does a lot of early damage onto Singularity. Patrick will take a lick of damage himself, but ooh, okay. Just utility damage all over the place from both of these teams, but it's the opening kill for Singularity that only lasts a moment as Caliber, he's looking to continue that form he did show. 2 quick kills for him there. Shuts down the aggression towards mid, and that's the bomb dropped as well. The Singularity, they're gonna have to go aggressive to try and pick up that bomb, try and salvage this round. So Fate, they're rotating over to try and cut off what Singularity might hope to achieve. Towards Pit does decent damage. Rocking take a considerable lick of HP. Like Singularity are going to commit to A after picking up this bomb. Rocking towards the pit, has lost his support out towards long. That is Patrick going down, but Nicky might be able to cut off these rotations. Up on top of the flag pot, he's going to find 2 quick kills with MP9, and that leaves it all up towards Iceberg, who worked his way through Banana, hoping to reunite with his teammates over that B site. Instead, he's left with 20 seconds to try and recover this bomb against 3 CTs. That's a good start. Gets the first, but Caliber is the second, and he doesn't miss. Fate, they post around on the board. It's the first of this map. Now, Singularity, they do have decent cash in reserve for most of their plays. They can get a pretty strong buy through. Iceberg will be left with probably just an SMG. He actually goes for Galil. So, actually a lot better than I was expecting. With Larson on the AWP, 4 rifles around it, it's better than what Fate can bring to the table. No AWP for the Fate side. And, I mean, T-side AWP Inferno, not the easiest. Definitely could be quite hard to get that up into a position where it can find that opening frag, but how does that nade only do 25 damage to Nicky in that position? Boggles the mind. But at least it is a little bit of damage for Singularity, I guess. As Fate, they took deep control towards Banana. They're going to flash their way through, hope to clear out these angles, and a very quick shot from Norton annihilates the close player, as Patrick, he's just going to have to fall away with 50 HP to try and stay alive. That Molotov going to make life difficult for him, though, as he's pushed forward. Norton will finish him off, and that's the B site secured. Dink onto Remoy through the smoke. Not enough, though. He's left with 15 HP. And Fate, they're left with nothing to do but to save. So they pick up a quick round, but it was Singularity who will answer back with force in the follow-up. No, looks like they want to keep 5 players alive in this as well. Rafter yet to frag in this game. Hoping he can get going shortly. Never like to see players struggling. That would certainly help Fate's chances in this as well. As Inferno, not a map they typically are very strong at. I mean, Rocking hasn't fragged out either yet. He's still on 0, but if those 2 players can start getting some frags to their name, that'll definitely be helping Fate out in this, because it's not completely a blowout yet. I mean, it's only 4-1, and Fate's saving weapon that previous round does allow them the full buy up here again, so they get themselves through the 5 rifles. Which they'll hope to take a fight to Singularity. With 5 players alive in that previous round, start to put up a bit of cash behind them. That's something you don't really want if you're Fate. We're trying to limit Singularity's economy. A little bit of team damage there, but not too much, as it's going to be a burst out the apartment. Remoy with an opening frag. He's actually going to get himself a quick triple. Somehow, Auto Director doesn't want to see any of those kills. I mean, now it switched to Remoy, but sorry, Remoy, my man. I'm sure they were super sick as well. But I think you're just going to have to... Hopefully you're recording them. Hopefully you're recording them to show them off. I'm sorry. Blame the Auto Director for not switching to you. That's what I say. Director picked up that shot, though. It was a quick little flick of the wrist for Larson, and I don't think Nicky's going to be very easily able to save this one. Yeah, Larson, there we go. Closes him down, and Singularity, they only survived with 2 plays, but that's enough. I mean, they could have survived with 0 plays, honestly, and they would have had plenty of cash to rebuy. We have had a player disconnect from the server. It's Caliber, who's gone for a walkabout. Hopefully, we'll have him back in just a moment's notice. As a Singularity, they secure a 5-1 lead in this game. Yeah, no saves for Fate there really does hurt them, because the economy, I mean, Nicky seems to have a decent amount behind them. Nicky could go for a buy if he wanted to. But the rest of the team, yeah, they're at 4th stage loss bonus, so it's 2,900 from that previous round. It'd be 3,400 in this round. They should really just be going for a bit of a half buy, a bit of a minimal buy in this one. Get a few SMGs, some Deagles through. Hope you can find some damage with that. Maybe maybe pick off a player, save an AK into that next round if you can. That's really what Fate's game plan should be for this next round. Unless you've got some sort of strat that you think can actually win you the round. In which case you could go for it. But yeah, you really got to be aiming for just some damage in that next round. Hopefully, trying to save a weapon as well. As Singular's economy hasn't got too out of hand just yet. I mean, Remoy and Larson, they're at about the 6-7k mark, so they've got quite a bit behind them, and they could drop to a couple teammates if they needed to, depending on whether Larson wanted to get the AWP or not. And the rest of the team around 2k per player. So if they lose, those 3 players wouldn't have a full buy for themselves. They'll be getting 1,400 into their accounts, which for SMF would mean he'd be at $3,000, which of course is not going to be enough for an AK, armor, and utility. The other teammates wouldn't be that much better off. They'd be at about 3,400. So Fate, they go for an eco or a min buy in this one, a SMG, a few pistols brought up. So Singularity, their aim here is just to try and keep 3 or 4 players alive, limit the economic damage Fate can do, and just keep their economy in a pretty strong position. And we'll see what Fate can manage to achieve here. Team Singularity taking this one pretty slow, 1:10 on the clock. Not looking all too aggressive right now. I mean, I think they can pick off Remoy here, which they do manage to do. So, opening kill, and AK now in Nicky's hands. Needs to try and shimmy over towards that B site, though, because that's where the Singularity offense is coming in. Patrick towards the back of the site. Just needs to try and delay them. That is a god flash from his teammate Nicky. He can't find more than just the one as Singularity, and they now reply back into a 3-on-3. A boost up over the smoke. Might be able to find damage, but oh, the missed jump cost them. And they decide not to go for the repeat. That's a wise choice. As Raftu is able to salvage that AK yet again, so with armor behind that, could potentially find a lot of damage in this round, but with Nothing towards Banana, should be able to close this round out. Larson will be hearing all the steps coming in. A quick pick onto Raftu, leaves it just up to 2, and make it just Caliber, who will quickly follow the same path as his teammates into the grave. Singularity, they find 6 now. And SMF, he has a little bit of a dance there in spawn. Right, one moment. Apologies. Right. Full gun round for Fate. That's what they took that partial buy for in the last round. I mean, they got a couple kills, but Team Singularity keeping those 3 players alive exactly, or sort of the minimum that Singularity wanted from a round like that. Nikki caught out opening this one, though. Iceberg collects that frag and, I mean, takes a lot of damage. The nade not going to be able to connect onto him. And with that opening kill, Team Singularity, they brought a rotation over towards that B site. They pulled Rafdu to try and support Patrick, but the real hit looks to be coming in towards A. Remoy over towards the boiler. Rest of his teammates looking to explode out mid, and Larson, he's just setting up a bit of utility towards B here. And with the AWP, that's a dangerous role to be playing from Team Singularity side. Needs to really make sure that he doesn't give up a frag as Singularity. They're working out through long, and it's only rocking towards this A site right now, alone against 4 approaching Singularity players. A flashbang towards Pit. Rocking needs to be careful as the smoke towards Pit does obviously give up his location, but they need to be able to find him. And Remoy is quick on the trade as the bomb gets planted. Larson's going to start cutting down rotations as he deals with Patrick. And a 4-on-2 for Singularity. Very, very well done. And Fate, they bit hard onto that B hit. Rotating 3 players over towards that B site, leaving just rocking towards A, who, I mean, manages to get 1 kill, a 1-for-1. It's probably about as good as you can hope for in a situation like that when you've got 4 terrorists coming straight at you, and they know your position towards that pit. You smoked it off to try and give you a better angle around it, but, yeah, that doesn't work out for Fate. A bit hard on B, and they pay the price for it. Turns out there was a bone in their fish. So for Fate, they have those couple saved rifles. Hoping that they can find something off that, but decent damage actually onto Team Singularity early on in the round. Over towards Banana, that nade does about half HP to Iceberg. Fly nade, though, does similar to Raftu, so take and give. That's a CS god say. They never said that, but I like to think they did. But this time, Fate maybe probably going to wish they had 3 players towards the B site, as right now, an opening kill towards A, a 2-2 setup. Singularity look like they're going to try and hit that B site. However, is he thinking about rotating over? As utility comes through, Nikki is going to get caught behind the smoke, but a Molotov actually bides a little bit of time. It's smoked off, and I'm not sure if that was a Fate smoke, but actually Team Singularity want nothing to do with that B site anymore. And again, Fate hitting towards the, or stacking towards the B side. It's going to be A. That is the point of contention. And I mean, look how far Nothing got. He just ran through the smoke. Got a lot of space towards the A site. Rafter at least has picked up the AWP of Larson from that cubby position, but a 4-on-4. Not the easiest round in the world. Nicky's going to save that AWP by look at things, or at least pick it up. Hoping to try and find something with it. Remoy needs to be careful he doesn't peek into that crosshair, because he will almost definitely be a dead man. And Fate, they look like what they want to try and do this. Caliber, he has a kit, so that affords them an extra 5 or so seconds on the retake. But actually, 3 plays for Singularity in towards the site itself, leaving Remoy alone towards Pit. But he's going to be able to pick up 2 towards Short, and Nicky bails out of there. A 1-on-3. Yeah, good chance at that one. Singularity, they'll find an 8. They'll find the lead for half-time already. How many more can they pick up? As this is looking very reminiscent of Inferno. But of course, this is the Team Singularity map pick, and they're hoping to close this 1 in 2. Pause coming through. It is a tactical timeout for Fate, as you can probably assume, as they have that AWP save. So that's a pretty nice weapon for them to bring into this round. Let's see what they can buy up around it, though. They have plenty of cash to do so they will, and actually get a double AWP for Caliber. Let's see what he can start doing that AWP. I mean, it says he's 0 and 2 in the game. I can assure you he isn't. He did disconnect a couple rounds ago, a few rounds ago, and reconnect, so that resets his score in the server. If you check on Esea and on the HLTV stats afterwards, it will show the correct score. I mean, I think on HLTV it does at this point as well. Yeah, he's what, 6 and 5, 7 and 5, something like that. 7 and 6, somewhat along those lines. A lot of early damage done towards Singularity yet again by these nades. So, potential for Fate to capitalize on, and with Nikki finding an opening kill, they do catch Iceberg. And actually a 3-man setup for Fate early round towards B. They'll rotate Caliber with that secondary AWP away. They actually had double AWPs towards B early? That's mental. That is pretty mental lentil. But rocking up on the balcony over on that A site, hoping that Notton will walk into his crosshair, because that might be a somewhat easy kill for him to find. This will be where the hit comes in, and Patrick succinctly takes down 2 quick kills and shuts down all hope Team Singularity had of picking up this round. It leaves it up to Larson and Notton. 25 seconds on the clock. We have the bomb. They have no ground whatsoever. I mean, they could dart back towards the beast, towards the A site, and maybe just get there. But that time has now passed. And they are committed to A. SMF. Oh, sorry, Notton. I don't know why I said SMF. I'm just so used to saying his name, I guess. But, Notton, he gets at least 1 kill in that situation. I mean, it's something, but not much. Team Singularity, though, they have plenty for the rebuy, so they're not worried about that. Not one bit. A little bit of damage towards Patrick with that nade. With the double nades, in fact. Team Singularity looking to try and open up something towards the A site early on. We'll see if they can manage it. I mean, Fate playing a pretty simple, pretty standard 3-2 setup here, but with Nikki boosted over that half wall towards Banana. A lot of intel found for Fate. Will shore up these defenses towards the A site as Patrick, he starts rotating over. Nikki's going to take a more aggressive position down Banana, hoping to maybe pick someone off, but he needs to be careful he doesn't get caught out as Team Singularity, they start to push out long. If they get the kills required here, especially onto Patrick, they could wrap in towards a B site, which it looks like they might try and do. And Patrick, he gets taken down, can't find the kills, and now Nikki is going to be in for a world of pain, has to try and get these kills very quickly. At least one was found by Raftu towards the library, and that's the bomb dropped. Singularity needs to go back, and Raftu, oh, he almost gets 2. It's all up towards Rocking, his position known now towards Arch. He can maybe try and get towards where that bomb is, but with Larson coming in from behind, limited chance of that. As he spots him out, Notton is going to turn and face, but Larson, he'll have the kill, and it will be Singularity in a bit of carnage there over towards CT. Picking up the round after all. Raftu, though, almost with the heroics. to save Fate in that one, but they will just be limited to 2 rounds for now as Singularity. They find 9 on the board. And I mean, it was a 9-6 half. Singularity on the CT side of train. They've still got plenty more rounds to play for here. 4 more, in fact. They could definitely get themselves into the double digits. As Fate, they have a rebuy, at least, so a few M4s, a FAMAS, but limited utility, along with that AWP for Nikki. Again, Caliber not wielding that AWP here as much, more taking a secondary AWP role, which is surprising. Nikki fires off the AWP as the flashbang pops. Exactly what it was designed to do so, for someone holding that angle off of it. And give space to Singularity to push up, take control with limited utility used. Flashbang peek. Not going to work out as Iceberg, he was playing anti-flash and quickly turns to find Patrick. So the opening kill, that's in Singularity's corner. And to Fate rotate over towards this B site, they've been caught out quite a number of times rotating towards the B site with majority players in situations like this. For now, they'll stick with 3 towards A. Looks like maybe Caliber, he starts to think about rotating over. And is Raftu going as well? Or is he just going to try and lock down long? Just Notton, he takes a peek out. Boiler gets caught out, but the real push, that's coming in towards B site. Nikki finds one for the back of site, quickly traded out. Caliber hopes to push through, and Iceberg, he's caught with a nade on his hand. Caliber finds 2 because of that, and it's now Iceberg left alone against 2 Fate players. Smoke at least allows him to cross towards the banana, so he can play after plant over there. The nade for rocking that he has might just be able to finish off Iceberg. With only 23 points of health, he has a smoke, he has his AK, and he has... That's about it. They're clearing out this site, and they'll start to realise that the only place where Iceberg can be is towards banana, which he does show now. And that nade might just finish him off. It will. Rocking gets it dunked down, and it is going to be a 3rd for Fate. But they really need to be finding more than what they're getting now. And yeah, he does have it with the defuse. No kit for him, but it didn't matter in the end. And actually, I bet if Notton, Iceberg had known that, probably might have been a little bit more cautious on that initial fight. He swung out very wide to take that fight and lost a good chunk of his HP. Wait and see. As both teams using up all of their cash here. This is really going to be a swing round for the latter stages of this game, because neither team really having cash to rebuy if they lose this one. Larson might be able to get a pick, and he does. Caliber caught by the open apartments. Larson has plucked him down, and now Singularity with the advantage, hoping to capitalize on it towards A. Just 2-man defense for Fate, but they are going to rotate Patrick over to try and lock down long. Ooh, the smoke! That's quick from Larson. It is a no-scope and it is close range, but he gets him down. That's rocking to fall. And then 2nd kill towards A. Patrick, he's caught out in the open. SMF will take him down, and Raptor, he's left with low HP towards Pit, and he will surely be dealt with. And it's all up towards Nikki, caught by Iceberg in CT. It's 10 for Singularity. They keep on racking these rounds up. And it's 10-3. Double digits for them. And still, better yet, find even more as Fate. They go for a force buy here. They're hoping to try and find 4 with this. It's 3 MP9s and MP5 for Caliber. Don't see them often. And a Deagle for Nikki. That's a nice kill, though. A nice trade, at least. As Remoy, he's cut short at 1. Larson's going to quickly barrel over towards that B site to try and join up with his teammates who are hitting pretty quick in. Patrick, he can't get anything done. Just left in a Singularity advantage. They'll be able to get the bomb planted in a moment. I mean, a bit of damage done towards SMF there. Nikki trying to deny the plant through the coffins, but won't work out for him. Rocking. Oh. Okay, we're gone 3rd person, I guess. All the kills coming through for Singularity. Oh, Nikki. Okay. A little bit of style there from Nikki, but it is only the 2 with the Deagle as Singularity. They find an 11th and leave the call in for a technical pause here. Does come through. There we go. Technical pause for the Singularity side. See what... well, hopefully it won't be too long, this one. Because Fate, they're going to have a very similar buy to that previous round. It's obviously, as you can see on your screen, 4 MP9s, a Deagle, a Caliber. As a Notton, he disconnects. So does... Oh, God, everybody for the Singularity is disconnected. Oh, it's just absolute carnage. So hopefully we'll have those plays back in a moment. It's only Remoy and Iceberg who remain on the server right now for the Singularity side. I don't know what the issue is, but I just wonder if Singularity maybe playing together from somewhere. And they're having joint issues. I don't know. Hopefully, though, it won't be too much longer. But, yeah. Never know with these things. Right now, Fate staring down the barrel of a 12-3 deficit. And obviously, as you can see over on the left side of your screen, just underneath the mini-map, it is already a 1-0 lead for Singularity in this game after they took away the Fate map pick of Train. That was 16-10. And it sort of set Fate up for a disappointing game here. Definitely. I mean, they've had a tough season. They're 0-6 already. Not got many games left to play. Singularity there, 1-4. So doing a little bit better. They've had a couple spots above Fate in that Group A table, but obviously the Singularity roster, very, very new, was quickly put together just before the season started. And obviously, I think the initial call was Remoy, Iceberg, and no, not Larson. Remoy, Iceberg, and Notton. And you had SMF and Larson join in just before the season started. And they started to find their footing more and more. They're starting to put in more and more strong performances. He had a deep run in the DreamHack Masters Open qualifier. Eventually got knocked out by K23, who put a very good series up against Cloud9 in the closed qualifier. So definitely for the Singularity side, good things to take away from that. They beat the likes of Alternate Attacks as well, which is always nice. Obviously the German Meisterschaft team. Right now, we are just still waiting, hoping that we can get going again shortly. I've not had any news about potential for the game being unpaused in the next couple minutes. So we got at least a couple minute wait, I assume. But if it does go, well, if Fate somehow manage a bit of a miracle comeback here on Inferno, a map they really struggle on in general, so it's apologies if I sound a bit pessimistic, but it's unlikely that Fate, especially in this situation, if it was a more even scoreline, I'd say there's certainly chances that Fate could do it, but right now 11-3 down. It's unlikely we're going to see Mirage as a side. I think Singularity probably going to be taking this one in 2. We're looking strong here on Inferno, unless their CT side completely collapses Singularity. I doubt Fate can muster a comeback, which is unfortunate because I like a lot of these Fate players. I've commentated on sort of Rafdu, Rocking, and Caliber quite a lot in various lineups, especially the likes of like Skade in the past. So I've seen them do some really good things, but right now, Fate are struggling in this ESEA Premier season. Still, we will wait. What are you guys? What are your guys' predictions gonna be for this one? I mean, I've just given you mine. Are you guys following the same sort of thought train as me, or are you guys are there still fate believers in the chat? What are you guys? What are you guys putting your money on? Yes, or at least just your pride on. Iceberg is your esports teacher at school. Really? That's crazy. Cool, though. Very cool. If true. How old is Iceberg? Not that old, is he? He's only 20. He's teaching. We gotta get players back in the server at least, though, right now. But still not got any word about technical pause coming to an end in the next couple minutes. So we will just have to sit tight for a little bit longer. Yeah, yeah, what sort of course are you on then? If obviously you say it's your esport teacher at school, but that's interesting. Is he a good teacher? The ball should be coming to an end in about minute and a half, so sit tight. Not got long left, as it looks like we're getting ready to get back into things. Team Singularity, they'll be getting their buys up again for this final round of the half, and they should be looking to take a 12th on the board as well, because Fate, I mean, 4 MP9s and a Deagle, really not what you want. And of course, this technical pause probably not helping the Fate side in many regards. Being this far down, a lot of time to sit and reflect, and obviously Singularity as well. Maybe not great for them either, because it sort of hurts the pacing they were having. They were in the flow of things, and it sort of all gets broken up, as now you have to get yourself back into that mindset. You just had to come out of the game for a moment. You just had to your mind's been moved to sorting out other things. You have to now put your mind back on CS:GO, sort out your what your game plan is, and get this game rolling. Once again, try and secure that 12th round, but I wouldn't be surprised actually if Fate can secure a 4th on the board. Because I mean, just if they go for something aggressive here, and with Singularity sort of obviously, as I just said, like having to get yourself back into the game and sort of get back into the right mindset. It might just be that maybe a shot or two a miss that they maybe shouldn't have, maybe not prepared for something aggressive, but we'll have to wait and see. As Fate, for the time being, they're just going to bide their time. They're not going for anything to try and assert early control. Instead, it's actually Nikki who takes quite a lot of early damage, down by 40 HP, but with Rocking boosted on top of the flower pots towards top mid, this could be a nice setup for Fate to completely lock down the round. Even though they come through Library, Remoy, he only manages one, and it goes into a 3-on-3. That is until Caliber gets his second frag. It only lasts for a moment, though. And with Iceberg left on 2 HP, him and Larson, they need to secure this round, but... Well, Iceberg, he's looking the wrong way. Nikki will catch that one easily. And that leaves Larson a 1-on-2. Chance there against Caliber. So Fate, they do find a 4 off the back of that. It's still a 7-round deficit, though, so it's really not much to celebrate, but it gives you a little bit extra of a buffer and a little bit less you have to claw back. So for Fate's sake, I mean, I guess there's a bit of optimism. We're going to get quickly into this next half. No real lollygagging about. Fate, they'll switch over to that T half, while Singularity now will take their chances at the defense. And they only need 5 rounds to close out this game. Fate, they have a 7-round deficit they need to try and overcome. Let's see, there's Larson with the kit, a couple flashbangs, SMF a smoke and a HE. Now Fate, they'll just have Nikki on a bit of utility for them. Smoke and flashbang still to be used by the Fate side. Singularity with a 4-man setup towards a Iceberg. Can't quite get around the corner after that initial fight, but it's still going to be Singularity with a 1-man advantage. As Caliber, he's going to get picked off towards the apartment. Singularity, they'll extend that advantage out even further. But Rocking, he's done with this round. He's found one in return. Singularity, a 2-on-2 towards this A site. SMF, alone towards B. Oh, Larson, those are shots you really need to be hitting, but he will make amends for it as he finds Nikki. Even Rocking all on his lonesome a kill already to his name with Larson low. There's potential. But he looks... Ooh, I thought he might rotate over towards B there. Instead, he's just going to rotate back into the apartments and try again towards A from a different angle. Pushes out as to try and find Norton over in the pit, who starts taking off his silencer. Knife out. Larson will be the one who secures the kill, and it is 12 for Singularity. That is a much-needed pistol round for Fate. Gone. And Singularity just a round closer to closing this out in 2. Fate, 4 Deagles for them, a P250 for Nikki. They're fully invested into this one. They've got pretty decent armor, some Kevlar as well on all their players, as well as the helmets. So they've got a pretty, well, as good as you can get, really. That they've obviously fully invested. It's 3 MP9s, the UMP, and an M4 to try and deny Fate anything in this one, but I feel like at least a couple kills are just guaranteed to come Fate's way just by the nature of these sorts of rounds. As Iceberg, he is the sole defender towards B. He spots out one with the Deagle. Will just pull away, drops down the smoke, and actually has a teammate rotate over in the form of SMF. Fate, they have 5 players all stacked outside of that B site, ready to pounce. The utility is going to get lined up. A couple smokes come through, I think, towards Coffin and CT. They're pretty standard smokes. And Molotov towards the pool. Denies a bit of access in that area for Fate, but actually a second round utility going to come through from Fate, and now they will progress with that. They spot out one towards Dark. It's going to be Iceberg running through a smoke, and he is instantly collected. Luckily, SMF found one, looking for more to try and hold the line. It at least goes 2 for 2 in towards that B site, but Singularity maybe would have hoped for a bit more in this situation, because now a retake is required. A 3-on-3 retake. And an MP9 picked up for Nikki that might be able to do more damage alongside these Deagles. Tries to find Notten. More damage done. He's actually going to get dinked down in return. And Nikki up on top of Dark. This is Fate's round, surely, as they cut down all the remaining Singularity players. They find a 5th off the back of the Deagles. And that is a gift for the Fate side. It'll keep them in this game just a little bit longer. Right now, Singularity, they'll go for the Force Buy in return, hoping to swing it back in their favor. 13, their aim, but Fate there looking likely for 6 here. Would be half of what Team Singularity have on the scoreboard. Utility going to tag down Larson, but the car flashbang, it enables Iceberg 2 quick kills. He has lost a teammate, but an AK recovered, and with Caliber low on HP, it might be enough for Iceberg to secure himself another kill. Instead, they'll back away. And actually, they'll boost up Iceberg up on top of that CT boost, the cross boost. They'll be able to see above that smoke. And it does come in. Looks like Fate still on a challenge towards B. They have 40 seconds to work with. And actually, do they back away from this? They might do. Iceberg in this position, though, could find huge impact for Singularity. The second set of smoke's going to come through. One with a Molotov towards the new box position. Iceberg, if he just gets one from this position, it'll allow his team a pretty strong chance of a retake. The flashbang not going to blind him up, and instead he fires off prematurely, gets cut down through the smoke. He does a lot of damage, but Caliber holding down these rotations through Banana. He's found Remoy, and it's a 3-on-2 now. And Fate bailing themselves out of a difficult position. This had Singularity written all over it, this one. But they will be able to find a 6, surely, Fate. SMF maybe just tried to save this AK. Get out of danger with it. Not, and he's down bottom Banana, hoping to maybe find an exit frag or 2. SMF, you'll hear the steps. That's surely a free kill for him. Does secure the frag on Caliber, hoping for more. He can limit as much economy as he can. Does damage to Rafdu, and that might be enough to kill him with the bomb. Well, with Notten finding the kill as well onto Rocking as he tried to escape down Banana. That means everybody goes down to the bomb for Fate, so they survive the round, but with nobody alive. So even though Singularity, they don't pick up the round themselves, they've dealt a lot of economic damage towards Fate. And Fate, they actually call a technical pause themselves as they've had a player disconnect from the server. And it's Rocking who has disconnected. Hopefully, well, looking like it's not going to be too long of a pause. Fate, I mean, they'll be able to get an okay buy through, a pretty strong buy through in this next round. But with Team Singularity saving 2 AKs and with armor, well, Kevlar behind those weapons as well, alongside a couple Deagles that were obviously saved for those players on their pistol slot, they can get dropped over to Remoy and Iceberg, and that'll allow a pretty strong buy all in all for Team Singularity here. That could seriously do some damage. These 2 AKs could find a lot of impact. And Fate, they'll only have 2 AKs as well. They'll obviously have a couple Mac 10s and a Galil around it as well, but as we get back into things here, Fate hoping for 7, but I feel like Singularity might be able to find a 13th off this one. Aggression up Banana. Utility damage done. Patrick. Oh, behind the wall. He can find one. Almost a second as Notten just about stays alive. But Nikki there for the trade. Keeps Fate in the advantage. And that's both the AKs gone as well. The boiler boost, that's going to get broken up as both Remoy and Larson low on HP. They can't stick around in that fire unless Iceberg does something magical towards his B site. And with him spotted out by Caliber, that's looking less likely. He's going to get pushed by these fake players. He did find one with a deagle. Somehow manages to elude Nikki for a little bit of time and actually puts Nikki down to just 4 HP. So there's potential for even more damage from Singularity yet again with this limited buy. And they'll be able to get a full buy in the next round. And through the smoke, Larson taps away the low HP of Nikki. So 2 players left alive for Fate. It's double AKs and Remoy potentially above the smoke. Could find one of them a re-smoke. But actually, Rafu looks for it. Good awareness from Rafdu. Throws his USP away, does Larson, just to collect that deagle, hoping that maybe he can catch a player trying to escape from the site. He might just be able to do so if Rafdu doesn't look his way, and there's the kill. Rocking was there for the instant trade, but again, I mean, limited investment for Singularity. Of course, they had the 2 AKs, but they were quickly taken down towards B. And Singularity, they find 4 kills in that round. Fate, they only escaped with Rocking. So, strong damage done by the Singularity side as they get themselves the full buy through. Fate, they have nothing to fall back on if they lose this round. I mean, neither does Singularity either, but... certainly looking like a stronger buy for Singularity with the orb. Remoy, he's already down the bottom of mid. He's gotten a kill onto Nikki. I mean, he got fully blinded up by his teammate. Rafdu has found a trade, and they're going to quickly explode in towards the A site off the back of that trade. SMF needs to be careful, but he's caught out by Rafdu, not expecting them already in towards Pit as Larson. He's looking for the frags, but his teammates are falling all around him, and somehow Fate, they're thriving in chaos. Larson is getting... there's just flashbangs everywhere! Every single one of these peaks for Singularity, they're met with a flashbang, and somehow Fate, in all the chaos, they find 8. Okay, fair enough. That was aggression. And somehow it works out. I don't know how. But they found 8, and they're starting to inch Joe closer towards the Singularity scoreline. It'll be 9 on the board before Singularity can rebuy up. And things start to get a little bit anxious for the Singularity side. You had, what, an 11-4 lead? 7-round lead, now cut down to 4. And, well, goodbye, Iceberg. Double naded. He is not long for this world, and Remoy's Mag 7 does the classic 96 in 1. And off the back of that, Singularity, they find absolutely nothing in the round. No kills found apart from, well, no kills found. They get some damage off, but damage doesn't really matter in the scheme of a game. But the rebuy coming through, they'll have the AWP for Larson, 4 and 4s, and a healthy amount of utility alongside the kits. Well, Fate, they'll run with the 5 AKs, but they've actually been able to get themselves a bit of extra cash in reserve back of these last couple rounds. So they can sustain a buy if they need to, and that makes things a bit more difficult for Singularity, where they had them really sort of on the ropes. But that opportunity is now passed, and it's going to have to be 2 wins in a row, surely, for Singularity, if they want to break Fate's economy. And it would be 14 for the Singularity side if that were to occur. And it'd probably be Fate having to fight back against Match Point with their next buy. Ooh. Singularity, a couple of flashbangs to take back control, and it's Iceberg to take the opening kill. So much damage done by the utility as well by the CT side, as Patrick and Caliber, they're left reeling from that damage. As Singularity, they have 2 players still towards his B site. Fate, they're looking to aggress in, though. A re-smoke towards CT. Cross, hoping hold back, and actually Nikki needs to push through it as Patrick finds a kill towards Coffin. That leaves Iceberg alone, and he can only find 1, and somehow Fate, they again manage to turn the tide on this round. Remoy, he's the first responder in this round. Does he clear out the close right angle? No, he doesn't. He's going to get knifed in the back, surely. Nikki's just leaving time. Gets the kill eventually, and now Larson and Notton, they have nothing to do but to save. Surely it's Fate. They find another round, and Singularity, they found the opening kill, but couldn't find really anything more towards that B site on the fence. A 3-on-3 is still possible. Remoy tries to take control towards Ruins, not expecting a player already that deep. And now it's just Larson alone, trying to hold on to this AWP. Which he will be able to do so by the looks of things, but... And on the board for Fate, there's potential for a comeback here. But now just a 2-round deficit. Singularity, the only round they found is the pistol round. And they lost the follow-up. They'll go for a bit of an eco around this up. Hope that it can find some decent damage for the Singularity side. But Fate, yet again, just able to bail themselves out these really, really odd situations, just with aggression in towards these sites. There wasn't really anything forcing Singularity into those peaks towards the B site. There wasn't any flashbangs or anything to help with that either. As Larson, I mean, he peeks out as Fate go aggressive, gets a kill, but it's an instant trade. And SMF trying to find something that Deagle has Iceberg near him. Together, they will force back they'll force back the offense rather. At least for a moment. As Fate looks to reconvene, re-aggress in towards this site. In a man disadvantage, it would be horrible for Fate to lose this round as Remoy, with a salvaged AK. He's going to quickly pick up 2 with the spray down. It's him and Notton to try and secure this round, but Remoy, almost gives it up. Notton luckily there to trade out. And Singularity, they find 13th off what should have never been a round for Singularity. Just that single up that went 1-for-1 early on. It was Deagles towards B that held off the initial push, and then Remoy with a double on that AK. It does set up Singularity for the 13th, and they will deny Fate the 11th. And can Singularity build off this now? Because they're actually going to go 4 players towards B early, Singularity. This is crazy. Sure, I've seen 3 players towards B early, but 4? That puts so much pressure on Larson right now with that AWP solo towards A. They need to rotate over with players back over quick now they've not had the aggression, and they are doing so. But look how much space Fate have towards the apartments. They're about to burst out, and Larson can do nothing about it. He now gets support through, but players all over him already. He's going to get taken down, and Singularity, I don't like that one bit. Notton at least gets one through the smoke, but that's not going to be enough. Caliber, he's going to get himself a double, and that is horrible. Iceberg and SMF, they're the last 2 alive. Surely you have to save. Allow Fate that 11th. And why, oh why would you stack 4 towards B? If you go for that, you have to rotate so much quicker. At least one of those players needs to rotate so much quicker once you don't get that initial aggression. I just, especially considering... I could maybe see it working a bit more if you played Larson with that AWP towards maybe Moto or Library, something like that, where he can at least have support sooner and he's not going to get caught out solo. But him towards short, he's wrapped on through both apartments and short. Well, top mid, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. That seemed like an unhealthy gamble, and now a pause coming through. Singularity, they don't really have much cash behind them. This is, of course, a Singularity timeout, tactical pause for them. Ugh. What does Singularity do here? They've got the AWP up for Larson, and with those 2 saved weapons as well, they could go for something decent here. I mean, Iceberg could drop over an M4. Actually goes for a bit of extra utility. Might drop a FAMAS instead. Remoy can probably buy himself up if they want to. But actually, they'll keep some decent economy behind them. So they'll get that AWP up for Larson as he remains on $1,500 still, even after buying that open armor. Which I guess is pretty decent. And they're actually going to go 4-A this round instead, leaving Larson solo towards B. So the completely opposite of the previous round, but at least this makes a bit more sense compared to 4 over at A, as they look to try and find a kill on towards Rocking, which they do collect. Nobody going down from that. Raftu caught in a bit of a predicament, trying to fight his way out, and actually reads it onto Iceberg, who just walks in towards the fight and gives up a second frag. And weren't able to salvage that weapon either. So Singularity, after all that, they're left with a man disadvantage. It looked good initially. Maybe should have just left Raftu in his position, got away with that extra weapon and the man advantage, but maybe they felt like they had the upper hand in that situation. If they'd gotten that kill into Raftu, really would have just secured a round and secured a 14th for themselves. It hasn't played out like that. Right now. All these Fate players looking to attack in towards the A site. It's Remoy and SMF still to defend with Larson positioned still over towards that B site. A nice shot from Remoy. Catches Caliber and he backs away, not wanting to get caught out. So now a 3-on-3 and Singularity might just have a chance this round as the push comes through if they can secure the trade, but they can't find anything more. It's Larson now left alone and he surely has to save that up over towards the B site. A 1-on-3 bomb planted. It will be 12 for Fate. So Fate having a very, very strong T side here. Only 2 rounds found by Singularity so far on their CT side, and I mean, they'll have a full buy next round, Singularity. Larson will have that AWP, of course. He saved that across the rest of the team. They have enough cash to buy up. So, I mean, a good a chance of any of Singularity to pick up this round, and let's just hope they don't go for anything crazy in this one, because if they send 4 towards B again, I might just lose my head. Like, from my point of view, it was not a needed gamble to take that. It was, like, you hadn't really had many chances at these full gun rounds. Why go for a risk like that? Maybe, I can understand 3 players going towards B early on, but I don't know. Yeah, let's see, though, I mean, Fate, they've used quite a bit of utility early on here in this round, as it looks like they want to go fast in towards its A site, or at least to establish top mid control. The Singularity, they'll give up a lot of space. They've actually rotated Iceberg away from B to look over Arch, while the rest of the Singularity players for A are defending towards short and apartments. It's SMF alone towards B right now, and he's actually going to have a lot of players coming his way. So he needs to be quick on the smokes, and he does drop one to try and hold them back, but they're going to push through a flashbang that might give him a chance at getting multiple kills here. He spams through the smoke for 2, almost gets a 3rd as well with Raftu low on HP. He gets a reload through, hoping for more. Player's going to be jumping up above him. Iceberg wasn't able to spot that, and Caliber running through the smoke actually gets one, but Remoy quick on the trade, almost gets caught out. It's an advantage for Singularity with Raftu and Nikki, the last 2 alive for Fate. Singularity, they need this round. They need to find 14 here. And Larson, he's alone, working his way up through Banana. He'll be clearing that out for his team, calling it out that they're likely towards backside or ruins at this point. Right now with Raftu coughing. Over in ruins, trying to find the shots. He's been dinked up though, trying to find the kill. He still does. That's evened it up into a 2-on-2. Raftu gets one himself, leaves it all towards Larson, who's now switched out into an AK, and he taps the bomb, but there's surely no time. He gets the first kill, and he's just gonna have to back away. And again, Singularity, they're losing these advantages as Fate. I don't know how they do it. Raftu dies, but SMF, he gets 2 kills. It's a 5-on-3, and somehow Fate, they still pull it off with an execute towards B. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. A pause comes through. It's all tied up 13-13, and I'll... Oh. Oh. I don't know what else there is to say, really. I mean, Larson, he saves his AWP again. But... Singularity were leading 12-4. That's mental from Fate, that they've managed to pull it back this far. They pulled back an 8-round deficit. It's tied up, and Singularity, they are They're gonna have to take they have to take the min buy around this AWP. They'll obviously try and find damage, but right now, Fate, they have decent economy for a few players. It's Caliber and Rockin' who might be worse for wear. But if Singularity find 4 or 5 kills in this round, that would certainly, or even just 3 or 4, I guess, would impact the Fate economy. It might make the next rounds easier, but Fate's surely going to be finding 14 off the back of this, and maybe Larson can find an opening pick for them. That's exactly what they need here. And Fate, they haven't been running the AWP for themselves. They're perfectly happy to run 5 AKs. Which has served them nicely. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. Oh, Lord. Raftu just completely plucked Larson out of this round. The AWP goes down. Notton has been able to recover it for himself, but without armor, this puts a lot of pressure on him to hit shots, and he does sometimes pick up the secondary AWP, so there's certainly potential for him to find shots, as Singularity being picked apart in this round. Now just 3 players remaining, and long control already in Fate's hands. This is difficult. Remoy, he's picked away. Larson, obviously, was just the first of many, but Notton on towards the site. Oh, if he could get another here, that would be huge. Just into the Deagle, can't find Caliber, but at least it's a little bit of damage for Singularity. As SMF, the last player alive. It's going to be 14 for Fate. Oh, dearie me. This is one of those moments that just makes you want to put a sock in your mouth. Like, I know, right, I know people are going to think that's weird, but I know that you secretly, you understand what I'm talking about with that. You know, you also feel that feeling at times. Where it's like, something is painful to watch. And you just want to, like, put a sock in it. I mean, obviously, it's not over for Singularity. We have another buy here. Let's hope, for Singularity's sake, they can close this one out. As SMF goes aggressive. Oh, no! Please! What a catastrophe! 2 people shooting 1 guy and they leave him at 1 HP. And there's a player already in CT, Ricky, hoping to cut off rotation. I think maybe was spotted out. But that's so much ground. Larson's at least been able to find 1 in return. So at least it's not a total write-off of a round right now. But right now, Remoy, he is alone towards that A site. Nikki has long control, and that's going to cut off rotation. So Remoy, he has to go big or go home with this one. Otherwise, it's Fate on 15. He did spot out 1 towards short. What can he do to try and hold the line here? He's got players pushing him. It's going to be Rocking taking him down, and Singularity, they have to save. It's 15 for Fate. Oh, dearie me. Map point for Fate, and they look to try and take us to a 3rd. We'll save the AWP and the M4. Raftu still alive on that 1 HP. 2 players were shooting him in Banana, and somehow neither of them... I just don't understand what's going on. I just really can't understand this. This is... Yeah. It's difficult, but now it's Singularity having to play for overtime, and with Notton actually falling as well. It's Larson just trying to hold on to this AWP. He gets 1 of the kills, has players on either side of him. And he won't survive. This was a Singularity 12-4 lead. And they're actually going to call for a timeout here. Dear, oh dear. Singularity probably should have closed this game out twice already. There was a round, obviously, where they sent 4 towards B inexplicably. And then a retake 3 on 2. They went in individually, didn't have any chance of refragging. Left Larson in a 1v2. And then there was a round then when they had 2 people shooting one guy, neither of them can kill him, and he gets both of them. Like, I don't know how many more chances you want as Singularity. And with an opening still going, make it a double. It's just done. It's 16-13. There's no way Singularity win this one out in a 3-on-5 with 2 MP9s and an AWP, which is glass cannon. There's just... Congrats to Fate, I guess, on this one. I just don't know really what to say about it, about this half. Singularity, they find 2 rounds in total, and one of them's a pistol round. I mean, of course, maybe Singularity fight back in this one, but it's looking so unlikely. Fate, they just commit towards the B site here. Remoy maybe finds one with the MP9. Larson maybe finds one with the AWP. But they're going to get traded so damn quick. In fact, Fate, they're going to head towards A instead. And that's even worse news for Singularity because there's only one player in that direction. That's Notton with an MP9. And yeah, he gets rolled here. He'd be lucky if he finds 1 kill in this situation. Maybe finds Caliber towards top mid here. Not even that. It's done. Fate, they find 16 and I don't know how. Just the amount of rounds they bailed themselves out of. SMF as well finds themselves a 5v3 towards the B bomb site before Fate had committed in. That's another round. Singularity let slip. I don't know. And it's done. Yeah. I mean, apologies if I sound tilted, but that was a painful half of Counter-Strike to watch. Not even just like... For Singularity's sake, that was painful. That they should have won that about 3 times over, I'm afraid. But we will be heading to a short break. And it turns out we are going to see the side of Mirage after all. Oh, dear. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll go to a short break. And we'll see who's going to be able to take the decider here of Mirage. After, well, a miraculous Fate comeback on Inferno. Stay tuned.